I want to show you how I edit my videos, and I use CapCut. You can use it for free on your mobile and for your desktop, whether it's a Windows or a Mac machine. Now, there is a Pro version, and I do use the Pro version. I'm going to show you the cost of that. But CapCut for your desktop for video editing is amazing. And video editing isn't just for influencers or people that put out YouTube videos like I do. Maybe you want to do a bit of TikTok. Now, some of you are going to say, I have no intention of doing YouTube or TikTok. This isn't just for you. This could be for the businesses and clients you work with as well. How do you build your brand? How do you tell people about your business or your products or your services? You go and do videos, and you could put the videos on your website, or maybe have them on YouTube and then you showcase them. And TikTok as well, like I mentioned, it's a great way of marketing and getting things out there. And you can reutilize the videos and stick them on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram as well. And the beauty is that rather than just having lots of blog posts and lots of text and just basic standard static images, you now have some moving animated content as well. And I'm going to show you how you could use CapCut. And remember, you can use it on your mobile for free, but I strongly recommend you get it for the desktop because it's so much easier to go through the features. Let me show you CapCut. This is basically it. And when you load it up, you will see this screen. And again, I'm only going to focus on the desktop because the mobile version, it's just portrait and I can't really showcase all of the amazing features this has. Now, if there's anything in here that is only valid for the Pro version, you will see the word Pro next door to the feature, so you know what you get for free and what you would have to go and upgrade for. But when you load up CapCut, this is what you see. So if you've already edited some videos or you're working on something or whatever, you're going to see them all here. And you can store tons of videos here. What I like about this is that you can rename, you can duplicate. So maybe you want to have an alternate version of the same video. Maybe you're going to have like a landscape for YouTube. And then you might have a portrait version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram. But you can rename, duplicate, and delete as well. Now, there is a feature over here called long video to shorts. Now, in the second video, because there's going to be a 2-video series, in the second video, I'm going to go over this and why you should not use this. You still use CapCut, so you go from a long form video to a short video. There's a better way to do it. Now, here's what you do when you loaded up CapCut. Sorry, before I show you that, I do have a Pro version, and that is $7.99. Obviously, convert that to dollars, what I pay monthly. They don't have like a lifetime offer yet, and I wish they did. But $7.99 for the Pro features is so worth it, okay? But what you get for free inside of CapCut is amazing. So I'm going to go and create a new project. The link is in the video description for you to go and download the Windows or the Mac version. And seriously, if you're still using like HitFilm Express or Movie Maker or iMovie on the Mac, you've got to make the transition to CapCut, okay? Because I was using iMovie, but it's so limited in what you can do, and I always felt like, damn, I'm going to have to upgrade and use something a lot more premium and expensive. And then someone told me about CapCut. Anyway, look, what you do is you go and import your movies, and you could have like loads of different movies, okay? You could have like different scenes, and you're going to stitch them together. I'm just going to drop one scene in. And it's so quick and easy, all right? You just drop it in, it's instantly there. And I'm going to drop in another one as well. Now, these are two completely unrelated videos, but I want to show you the magic of how you can stitch things together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and drop this video in there, and you will see the sound wave and the video. If you want to detach them, you just go to extract audio. By the way, I right-clicked, and now that has detached. I actually like to keep them in the same place. But if you found that for whatever reason you are now going to have different audio or an MP3 playing as well, you could detach the audio and remix it. You could also just drop in an MP3 file as well. I've gone and dropped in an audio file because you might have some music playing in the background. You can adjust the loudness of it by dropping this down or increasing it. I mean, when you start to see the orange, that's kind of giving you a hint that it's going to be very, very loud. So I might just drop it down a bit there. You can also go over to the basic control and we can adjust the volume here. You could have a bit of fade in, you could add in a bit of fade out as well. I'm going to right click that and I'm just going to delete it because we're focusing on the video here. I'm going to go through some of these settings, but I'm not going to focus on them too much because I want you to kind of understand how this works because it's really simple and easy. I keep saying that. When we click on the video, over here we have the video basic settings, the transform one. So this is currently on the landscape, okay? And you can export this as 720, 1080, 2K, 4K. So don't worry about how big that is, okay? Don't go, oh, is it 1920 or is it 3840 or whatever? You can export it as 4K when we get to that stage. So if I now want to zoom in a little bit, I could maybe do something like that. I mean, obviously don't zoom in too much because the quality is going to massively drop, but you can also shrink it down. So maybe I've got like multiple footage here. So let me just take this bit of footage and let me drop it in afterwards. So what would happen is you'd have a one footage and then the next one would play. But if I was to now go and drop this above like that, and I was to now scale this down as well, I could maybe position these to have like multiple videos playing. I could even overlap them. Now, at the moment in this video, when I recorded it with myself overlapping it. But if you've got separate videos, so there's one of a screen, and there's another one of you talking or a miniature version of you, you could overlap yourself. I'm going to get rid of this and just go back to our original scene. I'm just going to pop it back into the center and I'm going to scale this to be 100% so it fills up the screen. But like I said, you could reposition yourself as to however you want. That's how quick and easy it is. And if you want to be really particular, you can start to use some of the values here. So if I go and pop in 500, it should take it upwards, which it does. Minus 500 would take it down. And if you've got your x-axis, and of course, you can start to rotate as well. There's lots of features here, and you'll see a lot of them are pro. If I'm honest, I don't bother with any of these. The only pro one that I really bother with once I've got this here is if you look at the quality of the footage, so let me just pop my face like that, click back onto here, is I prefer the one over here called adjustment. Now you do have settings here for free to mess around with the temperature, the tints, the saturation, brightness, shadow, sharpness. You get so much contrast. You get all of these settings, right? If you want to mess around, you can do. The one I like, which is why I went for Pro, was what's known as auto adjust. Watch what happens when I click this. Can you see the brightness of that? And if I was to go really high, it's really bright, and that's what it was originally. I always set my videos to be 60. So this is what it is before, or when I've recorded it with all my lighting. I hit that, and it's a bit brighter, a bit sharper, and it just looks a bit more cleaner. In fact, the video you're watching right now has already gone through this auto adjust. I don't really mess around with anything like that. Now, you're going to be seeing other CapCut videos that other people do, and they will go through all of these items with where you can start to manipulate colors. So if I was to now go over to, say, this blue color, I could maybe start, look at the background. Can you see my background? It's changing the blue. My face is not changing, okay? Let's just pop this back to 0. What about the orange? So look at the picture behind me where we have the orange. I could now change that. You can see it's a bit more green and a bit more red. So there's these brilliant features that you have within CapCut. So all of a sudden, say you've recorded someone, you're like, oh, my lighting was too purple and I wanted to soften it a bit or saturate it. You could do that. That's how cool CapCut is, okay? You can also start to mess around with your curves. I mean, I am not going to do that here because I don't really bother with doing much of this messing around with the shadows. I always find that just going with auto adjust, which is why I'm happy to pay the $7.99, because every time I add in a video, I just go boom, 60, and that's it, done. The other thing I do is if I go back to my video is I go to the audio setting, so because my sound is there, and I will say normalize loudness and reduce noise. I don't do enhanced voice. I don't do vocal isolation. You can do that if you're in a noisy area. So if you're recording and there was cars or the weather was, you know, very windy or whatever, if you wanted to now just isolate your vocals, maybe your microphone, you know, wasn't too close or whatever, and there's a bit of disturbance, go and do that. But again, I added my video, auto adjust to 60 for the auto adjustments, and then I changed my vocals to be normalized loudness and reduced noise. How quick was that? Okay, and this video, by the way, is 5 minutes and 15 seconds. I've hit these buttons, and even when I've got like a 60-minute video, this might take as long as 4 to 5 seconds. That is how quick it is, and that's why I just love it. I mean, if you do find that your voice was too loud when you're playing it, go and adjust your volume for either individual segments or for the entire clip. And my recommendation is what I've done now with the auto adjust and the vocal, do it before you start editing or slicing up. Because if you do it after you've sliced, you're going to have to go back and do it through all of them. So do it from the get-go. Right, I don't need to mess around with my speed if I want to make it faster. So look at that now. It's going to be an ultra-fast video. Look, if I hit play, look, it's just really, really quick. Or you could make it really slow. If I now drop it down to like that, and you're going to see my movements, like it's very steady. You can probably start, you probably can't hear it, but I can. It's very soundy. Now, there are some other settings here for animation as well, which I will go into once I've done a bit of slicing up. Now, over here on the left-hand side, this is where we've imported our videos or our sounds for this particular project. So if I went to another project, I would have different assets available. So it keeps everything in the right place for the right project. We do also have AI generated. However, I don't use this. I don't really pop in any AI generated images. We also have stock materials, and there's a range of like bits of footage. I always feel it's better to go and get your own footage because you might not find exactly what you want. And you also want a lot of your videos to be unique. But the two I do use quite a bit sometimes are the white and black one. By the way, if you scroll down, you will have some other colors available as well. But the reason I go for the black and white ones quite a lot is I could pick this up and I could add it into my scene. Let me just zoom in, and you do have a zoom in feature here. Now, when you zoom in, the clip over here is still 5 minutes and 15, but it just kind of expands it out. And this clip here at the moment is only, if I just move over, it's about 5 seconds long. I want to drop it over me as well. So if I just move my mouse over there, click on that little clip there, I can actually shrink it down. And it might be that I'm going to have some text appear over here, maybe in a black window. I would never do it like this, by the way. I'm just showing you how you can very quickly overlay. So using the stock materials is great for if you just need a quick white or black background, or even a colored one. I'm just going to right click and delete that. You have some audio effects as well, where you can drop in some sounds, you know, bits of music, bits of sound effects. You got to be careful though, because if you are going to be adding these to YouTube, YouTube might say, is this got copyright or not? So make sure that when you do get sounds that you know you have permission to use it, or do you need to add in any attribution? But they are available, but I don't really use them, and I want to focus on what I use. But if you want to mess around and have a look at some of the sounds over here, you can do. You can also search for sounds as well. Now, the text one, this is one of my favorite ones. So you know how I mentioned you could drop in black background? Well, I could also, if I want, just go and drop in some default text. So I'm going to go and drop it in over here. Let's expand out. Let's hover over that. And there you can see the text. And I can position it wherever I want. I can change the text. I can make it uppercase. I can make it bold. I can change the font. And there are tons of fonts here for you. Okay, loads of stuff. I can go over and just hit return. And let's just make sure everything is left aligned like that. You can space out the characters. You can increase the line height. I mean, you have loads of adjustments here. And this is what is really cool, okay? Look at these preset styles that you could add in as well. You might want to go for, say, let's just go with this yellow one. And you might say that I want it to be smaller or bigger. You can scale it down. You can rotate it. I can make the background be more attached to the wording like that. I can make it be more rounder, say. I could increase the width and the height as well. It's so good. And look, we have the color for the background. I could swap that out now to be whatever hex code I want. Let's just go with this color. Go back over to my text above over here, and we're going to change the text now to be white. That's how quick and easy it is. And if you want to have a bit of transparency, I can go to just my background. It will maintain the whiteness, and I can even change the opacity of that. Look, I can make it so it's just a bit transparent. But you have animation effects as well. So if I go and click that, when you get to that part, and you can see the time there. So look, as I play it, you're going to get these hearts appear like that. And if you feel like that was too fast, click on the text, click on animation, and you can drag it out. And you could say, I want that effect to last 3 seconds. Look, it takes a lot longer. Or I could say, no, I want it to be really short and sharp, like boom, there was a bit of a flash there. Look, that's how quick it is. So there's these effects you can add. And that was probably the worst effect I added. Okay. There's lots of different things you can do. So I could have slide up text. I could have leap in text. You got typewriter effects. You got effects where the text just fades in, where it just slides in, zooms in. There's so much choice here. And can you see that? I mean, yes, there's quite a lot of pro, but on top of that, there's tons for free. Believe me, there's so much you can get in here for free. And you can have animation when it comes in. You can have animation where it goes out. So I'm going to add one of these in. So what will happen is you'll get animation as it comes in, and then as it goes out, it does something different. Or you could use the same animation for both. So you could have like a looping animation. So say something like that while it's visible on the screen. Modify it to your heart's content, okay? But that is how good it is. They do have a text-to-speech option as well. They do also give you AI characters. I don't use any of these because I like to think I am the AI character at the end of the day. Here is the big feature that you really should not ignore, okay? See over here, it says auto captions. I'm going to click this, make sure it says English, and you do have some options there. And I'm now going to hit generate. And this, I mean, look, it's already at 45%, 64, 65. It's going to go away, and it's basically going to add in your captions. And this is the thing that really made me go for CapCut. Look at that. So if I now shrink down, you can now see all of my captions. They're all over there. Okay, let me just expand. And the reason I love this is that, let's say this is an unedited bit of video, right? I can go over and start to go, like, at what point did I start speaking? You can see the sound there. So I might just adjust that to start over there. But I can edit it, so based on the sound and the wording. Because even though I started there, it might be that I realized, no, I was wrong. And I can skim and just see at what point did I repeat myself. And I can then slice that out. And we are going to get onto the slicing. But here's what's really, really cool, right? Every time I click onto any one of these, the caption appears. If I realize like the word was not right, so I might now change that to be in capitals like that. So let's go over there. I might decide to take out a word, or maybe it interprets the word wrong based on how I spoke or what I said in it. You know, whenever I say Elementor, it always puts in the word elemental, and I have to keep changing it to Elementor. Sometimes with WordPress, it has word space press, so I get rid of the space in there. But again, here's a really cool bit, right? If I go over to captions, there's all my captions, right? Look at them, all of there. So I can quickly skim down and find that bit of footage, and it jumps to it. Look, it jumps, let's go over there. It jumps back there. Look, you can see it, elemental. Right, let's go and change that to be elemental. I can skim down really quick and easy. I can delete bits out as well if I don't want. That's how brilliant it is. Anyway, if we go back over to text, I don't like this text. So I'm now going to go down to one of these styles. And if I go and pick that, and I was to now make it be bigger like that, because it says apply to all, it applies it across the board. I could, if I want, untick apply to all and just apply it individually. But why wouldn't you want to have consistency? But here's the power of CapCut, right? I'm going to go to templates. And rather than having one of these effects, I'm going to go with something like this. If I now play this, just mean with WordPress and Elementor and other tools as well. You will have seen these kind of effects, communities right, where I TikTok know that and YouTube learn Shorts. From one another. Auto caption for free. Templates for free. All inside of here. So let's just go and click on one of these. And look, there is so many options as well. You could have one of these options like it. I mean, sorry, by the way, that was a pro one. I think I picked pro ones, didn't I? Yep, sorry, I made a mistake there. Let me go and pick something that is not pro, okay? Basically, I like to find there are options for you. Play around and go for the one that works for you. But the $7.99 per month for pro is so worth it. And if I go back to this one here, which is a pro one, but I don't like the green color, I go to basic and I can now change the color. So let's just go for a bright yellow. It is still the same to find communities where I could change the size of the wording. I could make it all be uppercase. There's so much you can do. The line height, the character length, the scale of it. I'll go and add in a background and we'll make it rounded and we'll stick it up there. Look at that, it's now applied where I know that we can learn different color background, the different share ideas, and I've made it uppercase. Mutual respect as well. How quick did I do that? If you don't want to see certain features, you can like hit the eye and now it is invisible. It is still there. It's not been deleted, but I'm not seeing it. We have stickers that you can add into your footage as well. So you might want to drop something in like that. You can resize it. You can position it. You can rotate it. You can add in some animations for how it appears. So look, this one over there is now going to spring in like that. There's so many items you can layer on top of one another. Okay, we have effects as well. So I'm going to hit the revolve shake one, and you will have seen it kind of spin in, or maybe we might have gone for something like this. That is the transition. So this is where now, when you're moving from scene to scene, rather than doing that old standard slide in or zoom in, it might do something a little bit different. And again, I'll show you that once we've done some slicing. You've also got filters that you could add. So I could take, say, this one here, and this is now going to show what my video would look like if I added in this effect. I could go for this like gold effect, but look how it's changed everything, the background and the colors. I hope it helps to clarify so much of what you have available for you for free and the pro version. Now, how do you go and slice? Well, okay, this entire part of the video at the beginning, I want to get rid of. So I'm going to move my mouse to be over here. I'm actually going to shrink down. In fact, we'll just get rid of the captions for a moment. I'm going to go to this part of the video and I will play it. And I know the sound kicks in there, so I could either go to here or a little bit before, but I'm going to go to here. And what you do is just go to Command B. And when you do Command B, it sliced it. Look at that, it sliced it. It's put a cut through there. And I'm now going to click on the first bit and hit delete. That is now gone. So my video now starts from here. Look,
when I first started using,
right, let's just do that again.
When I first started using,
pretty simple and easy. Another way of how I could have sliced is, let's say I got to this point here and I now wanted to slice because everything from here to say over here, I wanted to get rid of. I could have put my mouse over there and just hit B on my keyboard, so the letter B. And when you do that, your symbol changes to like a blade almost. So when you click there, and when I go over to here and you can see a yellow line, hopefully, and I click there, that basically has split the scene or the clip. And I hit A to get back to my normal cursor. So B is to slice, A is to go back to normal. And now I can click that and I can do that. And that part of the scene is now gone. So we go from one scene as possible. And it just converts into another. Now, I do want to just highlight, though, that I prefer to do Command B because I find it's quicker than me going B, A, B, A. Command B is so much quick. Now, let's just pretend that we had two completely different scenes over here. So I'm going to go to my import. And I'm going to pick up this scene and I'm now going to drop it in the middle like that. So if I now just zoom out a little bit, there's our original scene over there at the start. And I've gone and dropped this one in. In fact, let me just trim this one down. And I'm going to get rid of all of that and just expand out again so it's easy to see. Again, I'm doing this so quick and easy. We've got our first clip. There's the second part of the clip. And we've gone and shoved this one in between. It might be that we go from a shot with me and we jump into a smaller shot. Here's where the transitions are your friend. I'm going to go over to transition. And my favorite one, and there's loads of different ones over here like zoom shake and drop effect and rotate and all of that. The two I love are pull in and pull out. So I'm just going to scroll down. I've just done a search for pull because sometimes they are scattered a little bit. So pull out basically goes like from big to small. So I'm going to take pull out and drop it in here. I'm going to take pull in and drop it in here. That is how brilliant it is. Now watch the footage, right? It's possible. You see that? And then eventually when we get to the bit where it's now going to transition again, it will expand out. I like actually like to... It's so brilliant. Okay, I mean, and there's different bits of footage, you know, different transitions that you could use there. And I mean, I could drop in loads. Let's drop in the shake one over here. So what you'll have, and it makes editing a bit more fun. I mean, I hate video editing sometimes because I've got so much other stuff I want to do. But it means that you can go from like having very flat scenes to adding in a bit of movement. Now, if we go back to this scene over here, this just kind of starts straight away. And I did mention that you have some effects over here for if you want to add like a graffiti effect or anything like that. But maybe I don't want to do that and I just want to have a bit of animation before it plays. So I could, if I want, add in this black hole effect. So I'm going to go and click that. And what it will have done now is added a black hole effect. You can see this black line, a little bit of a white line there. So now when I first started using Facebook, that will play in. And if I want to speed it up, I can go to animation and I could make it longer. So it's like very slow or much quicker. I could also remove it so there's nothing there. Or I might want to go and add in something like a slide down. So you can do that with all of your clips. I can even go over to this clip here, the one in the middle. Go to animation. add in a jelly effect. So even though you have a transition, you got like a double transition. I mean, that was a rubbish one to do, if I'm really honest. But because it was doing the, which one was that we had there? We had the pull out effect. And by the way, you can make your pull out effect take longer as well. So I'm going to go to this animation that I just added, set it to be none. And I'm now going to show you what would be the pull out be if you made it slower. Possible. So look, it takes longer to do, but you can also make it quicker. So have a lot of fun with what you're doing. But when it comes to slicing and editing, you basically find the bits you want to keep or cut away. And look, if you're zoomed in and you try and do it, you're not going to get it spot on. Whereas if you zoom out like that, you can be really, really, so I know my sound here, I stopped speaking before I spoke again. So I could, if I want, go edit and get rid of blank spaces. But be careful because your video might become very choppy. Like, hey, this is, because I've seen some choppy editing and sometimes I don't like that. So when it comes to video editing, you go away, slice, delete, cut away what you don't want to keep. You can drop in extra bit of footage. You might have recorded a video which was actually split over 10 different videos. Go and drop them in. You know, you can drop them on the fly. So I could pick up another video that I've got here and I'm just going to literally pick it up. I haven't even added it to my import. I'm just going to pick it up and drop it in over here. And I'm now going to intersect it with this clip over here. And then I get rid of it and I go, right, we'll cut that bit out and we'll get rid of that. And I only actually wanted this middle bit, fine. And then I go and drop in my captions or whatever, drop in my transition effects. And, you know, it just works so easy. Now, when it comes to exporting, again, so good. You go and hit export. Maybe your video from the get-go was a vertical portrait. Just go to ratio, go and hit 9:6. And then when you drop your video in, you can resize it, style it. You know, I mean, look, I'm just going to pop the text back in over here. You could pick your text up, pop it here, make your text be bigger, smaller, slimmer, you know, however you want to do it. Pick up your footage, rearrange it as well. But there's options here for you to create a square video, for instance, as well. Or just go back to the standard 16:9. Did I say 19? 16:9 if you want to go for the landscape version, which is what most people will be using for standard YouTube videos. I hope you've found this useful. I mean, it's not the best CapCut tutorial video, right? And I haven't gone through every single setting, but I wanted to just showcase the features and so much that you can get for free. The link is in the video description. Just go and click it, go and get it. I hope you do upgrade to the $7.99 per month or whatever it is in dollars Pro, because you get some really cool, funky features. But if you just want to do some standard editing and you want to have auto captions, because so many people are paying third-party bits of kit to get all of that. It's all here for you. I'm Imran, Web Squadron. See you soon.